Oh, hello. I didn't see you there. And now to my camera. We're going to talk about Justice League
That sounds great.
with David Ryan Andersson.
Hi.
This episode of Let's Talk Why Not is going to be completely filled with spoilers. Tommy P.
Oh, Tommy P.
Welcome to Let's Talk
Are you
Why
recording?
Not. Yeah.
I've been doing all my most offensive material on camera.
Well, we'll just fade in just now. Were you doing a disparaging impression of my Mick father? Oh, Tommy. Tell me what to do in the cinema, Tommy. I want to stop off for a pint. Welcome to Let's Talk Why
It
Not.
comes in pints.
I am your host, Tommy P.
And I'm your co-host, David Ryan Andersson.
My guest today is David Ryan Andersson. We're doing a special episode today.
This is gonna be so much fun.
We just saw the Thursday night premiere of Justice League.
Mm-hmm. Can I spoiler for who I am? My name's David Ryan Andersson. I'm wearing this hat because I got a bad haircut. This is not a fashion statement on my part.
Always with a haircut.
I'm saying this is for your benefit. No, I got it. It was a real hack job.
The film? Jesus, calm down.
That was a perfect segue. Oh man,
I liked it.
really?
Yeah.
You've kept that
Before-
bottled up this whole time? You liked it?
We shot your whole personal episode before. In the ranking of the DCEU films, which DC and Warner Brothers, by the way, never coined themselves, just the media was running with that. And they've actually said, like,
Oh,
don't
really?
call us that. We never said that.
Interesting. Okay.
It's Wonder Woman, Justice League.
No, I mean Man of Steel. I still think is
I liked
a
it.
mess of a movie. I barely liked it. I finished that movie thinking, okay, that was pretty sloppy, but I think that they have a good direction they can go in.
I've seen it more than once.
And-
No, that's,
okay.
That's
For me, that doesn't mean anything. I've seen lots of bad movies multiple times, but
why do you hate yourself?
I like analyzing them. I've seen Suicide Squad 2.5 times.
The Academy Award-winning Suicide Squad.
So yeah, for best hair and makeup. No, but I think that in spite of the fact that I think this is, as far as the DC EU films are concerned, I would say this one is more of a positive than a negative. I still think that it is a bad movie.
Would it have helped if there was more character development for the characters we haven't had movies yet?
I don't know, because I was really surprised by this, but my favorite character in the whole movie was Cyborg.
Okay.
I didn't expect him to be so important to the plot. Like, in a way, I mean, I feel like almost every character in this movie was ancillary to the plot.
Are we still trying to keep this spoiler-free right now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm trying to be spoiler-free at the moment, but I can get more specific when we get into our spoiler section, which I want to keep this pretty brief, but like, what does Batman do? Like, he goes around and like says, hey, you want to join us, which takes 5 minutes or something. Wonder Woman does nothing.
You would have preferred a first act that was all just music video montages?
I didn't need that part to last a long time. All I'm saying is that that's the extent of what he does in the movie, and after that, everything else he does is virtually meaningless, or could have been done by anybody. Like, Batman as a character has very little influence on the events of the movie. Same with Wonder Woman, does almost nothing. Flash does no. I mean, he's a comic relief. Aquaman shows up at some point and is like, doesn't even want to be there. He's like, I'm not going to talk. You've got Cyborg.
The guy you
Cyborg's
like.
yeah, Cyborg is the only one who his identity is actually valuable to the plot of the movie.
Well, it says here that his standalone is slated for 2020, so you're in luck.
Okay.
You're getting your Cyborg movie then.
Well, here's the thing: is I didn't think he was like a super interesting character, though. He was my favorite because like as far as personality, what does he have except that he's like, I have a magic space cube fused with me or something. I did not understand his backstory.
They're saying he was
exactly.
born of the mother box, so like.
But he was a kid. He died and they brought him back to life. But he also fused.
I don't think he died. His dad saved his life.
No, they said that. or he was believed.
So
he
let's
was
just
on
jump
the
into
verge.
spoilers from here on.
Yeah,
I guess.
I don't know how to talk about this movie without spoiling it.
No.
Yeah, there's too many details.
Just put in the
going on.
title, all spoilers.
Fine. Okay. I legitimately could not follow. I mean, not that it mattered. Like, it doesn't matter, but
When Superman came back to life and then he was scanning all of them, we saw that basically he was all machine except he had a human skull.
right.
So like,
And we see in Batman vs Superman that he's like half a body that like the
yeah, on a plate and
this stuff's getting confused too. Yeah, the only characters that did anything. It was so the moment Superman shows up in this movie. No, sorry. Let me move backwards. I made a comment to you while we were watching it. I felt like I was watching the Goonies, but they were all dressed up as superheroes. Because these people are superheroes, and everything they're doing is like, watch out, there's a cop over there. We don't want to get caught, even though I'm literally Batman and the Flash and Wonder Woman and stuff. And they're like sneaking around and like doing all this stuff to like, I don't know, like whatever. They're so ineffective, these characters, at doing whatever they're supposed to be doing. And then they like revive Superman, which first of all, like their plan is like, we're going to kill the bad guy. And then they go and fight him. And they're like, well, that sucked. We all failed at that, which is, you know, fine, whatever. Like, the characters have to fail before they succeed. That's fine. Immediately, Batman's like, wait a minute, guys. The plot says that if we shoot electricity at this cube while it falls in the water and we put Superman in it, he'll come back to life. Let's do that instead. Superman's way better at this than we are.
I heard about 40 minutes got cut off. The studio gave
I absolutely believe it.
Whedon a mandate saying like this needs to be under 2 hours, so it was
Right.
159, and obviously tragedy in Zack Snyder's life, so that Whedon had to come in, do reshoots, and then he did some retooling and rumors about how much he actually did reshoot, and because of the success of Wonder Woman, kind of make more focus on her a little bit, obviously because she was a big fan favorite, and then so he got a story by credit, I think.
Yeah, he definitely didn't have any kind of directing credit that I saw.
No, yeah, because in the DGAU, the only way more than one director can be credited as director is they have to be siblings.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Interesting. Okay.
So Wachowski's, Wachowski?
Coens.
The Coens, yeah.
The Captain America guys.
Oh, the Russo brothers.
Russo. There we go.
Yeah.
That's what I meant to say.
From Community fame.
From Community, yeah.
They did a lot of great episodes of Community.
Man, that was so much better than this movie. So the plot of this movie...
So the plot of Community, they did this paintball episode, and then they topped it in season 2 by doing a 2-parter.
It was great. No, but Justice League, I'm going to spell out the plot of this movie. It's going to be spoilery. So it starts off...
This is in a book report.
Okay, fine. No, just to refresh my mind, can we go over what the plot of this movie was?
And we'll just talk about it as we go.
It starts off with a Snapchat video of Superman being adored by children. But that was
a
definitely
child doing
added.
a video of like.
Yeah.
Could you tell what
I
they did?
totally could tell in that scene that he had a CGI lip.
With that part, I couldn't. I think at that moment I actually forgot to look, but then like as I think about it back, I was like, oh well, it was a camera footage, so it would be like a lower res degraded footage to hide the CGI.
They did it, yeah. I was thinking that also, but I could still tell that his lip was off.
When he came back and from the dead and kicked all their asses.
Yeah.
By the way, I love the Flash. I'm gonna talk about that later. But that's just because I fucking love Ezra Miller.
Yeah.
Oh, can you tell?
I could tell. Yeah, you keep telling me.
Fuck you. He's an American treasure.
He was good. He was fine.
Watching Henry Cavill or Cavill, I can't tell. Godot, it's like, but like, the top of his lip almost like seemed to curl up an unusual amount.
No, it was.
I noticed in that scene.
Yeah, it was strange. I couldn't put my finger on what exactly I was looking at, but
Mission Impossible 6 better be fucking awesome. If you don't know what we're talking about,
sorry, let's
Henry Cavill, they had to bring back the reshoots for Cavill.
I think it's Cavill.
Yeah. Henry had to be brought back from the set of Mission Impossible 6, and in that film he has a mustache. Paramount is the production company behind Mission Impossible, and Warner Brothers does the DC films, and they, like, Paramount has no reason to do any favors for Warner Brothers, so like, no, you can't have, we're not going to let him shave his mustache.
He was not allowed to shave his mustache for the reshoots of Batman vs Superman, which means Warner Brothers had to go in and digitally remove his mustache and add a new upper lip.
Yeah, and then animate the missing spot, which
to Cavill. For the most part, I didn't notice it, but that scene I definitely did.
aside from even like wearing a fake mustache, like shaving and then wearing a fake mustache just for MI6, Mission Impossible 6.
Mission Impossible.
Mission Impossible. It's the 6th movie, right? Just sounds weird saying MI6 because that's like Bond.
Oh yeah, that's a good point.
But like even if it was wearing like a prosthetic mustache, it would probably be more cost effective to have him shave it for Justice League and then for Warner Brothers to pay for the CGI
To add it?
to put the mustache on in Mission Impossible 6.
Oh man, I don't know where the money went for this movie, for Justice League, because this
It's a
movie
lot of
looked,
reshoots.
This movie looked bad. I thought.
Could you tell like when it's clearly like Whedon, not directing so much? I say more than the direction. I could just clearly say, like, oh well, Whedon wrote that.
Yeah, there were lines that definitely felt like Joss Whedon, and more importantly, there were like shots that felt like they had been added later. Because, first of all, a lot of this movie was definitely filmed on green screen. Or at least it felt that way. Like there were interior scenes where I was like, this really feels like they're on a green screen right now, because it just does not, there doesn't seem like there's an accurate depth or shading or whatever it was in these rooms. And there are some moments where, sorry, I say that as a preface because I think that I might misinterpret other shots, but there are scenes where people are talking and all of a sudden you notice the camera would punch in on them. The background suddenly looks like they're floating in front of a green screen and they say a funny line and then we cut back to the normal conversation, and I was like, clearly that was inserted after the fact. Like Batman gets whatever, he's like Superman comes back to life. They bring him back to life because he's the only person who can do anything in this movie. Superman comes back to life, tries to kill Batman, like throws him across the
Millennium Park.
Millennium Park, yeah. And then we get we cut to a shot of Batman laying on the ground, like it. As far as I could tell, it looked like a very obvious, like really bad compositing job. Like he's on a green screen, and he does something like I'm okay, or like ow my leg, and then we cut back to Wonder Woman, and then like the scene progresses, and it's like, oh no wait, are they in reality now again? That was just like a weird bad green screen job, because they were like Batman has to say something funny when he falls down, I guess.
Given those angles of downtown Chicago, it's like
I was so excited to see Chicago. I mean, it was one thing to see Batman on like Lower Wacker or whatever, or like by the Chicago, the Tribune building in Dark Knight. It was completely different to see Batman like standing above Millennium Park, like with the whatever, the Chrysler building, not the Chrysler building, not the Chrysler building, the Diamond one. What's it called? He's clearly standing like right on the corner, like looking right at the corner of Michigan and Randolph, like at Millennium Park. You see the big metal net thing over the music area or whatever. Oh, it was so goofy. I don't know. Can we talk about Batman in general? Sorry, I have a lot of feelings about this movie. I know you said you liked it, and we'll get to that in a second. Batman is so.
I'm just enjoying that you came over and I could just facilitate your rant.
Just put some cameras on me. I'm going to talk about this. I've had these feelings bottled up for hours since we saw this movie, prepping for this. Batman looks so hideous in that outfit. Ben Affleck, God bless his heart, but he is an awful Batman. That voice is stupid.
How is he as Bruce Wayne?
As Bruce Wayne, I don't buy him. I don't believe that he's Bruce Wayne. I think he's fine as whatever it is he's playing.
Yeah, we didn't really see Bruce Wayne in this movie. Like we got Bruce, because I think like Bruce Wayne really just exists when he has to be social to people who doesn't know he's Batman. It's like we got Bruce Wayne in BVS.
No one in this movie didn't know he was Batman.
Right, so he was never Bruce Wayne in this movie. He was always just Batman in costume and Batman out of costume.
Or Batman being like, oh dang, that left a mark. That's gonna hurt in the morning.
Oh Diana, can you help me with my shirt? Oh,
can you pop my arm back in? What was up with that?
And then like they tried to create this like jealousy with Aquaman, and he was sitting on the lasso and like, you're super hot, and I don't want to die.
We're jumping ahead. We're getting ahead of ourselves. Let's talk about the core problems with this movie. Batman is a hideous design. Actually, let's back up even more. One of my big beefs with Zack Snyder has been in some of his movies, his production design, I don't know how this is. He's the director, so like I'm sure he has some amount of control over this. I don't know if it's the people he's been working with, if he works with the same people on his projects or what. His designs for costume and for locations and stuff, they look hideous. They look so fake. Watchmen in particular, that movie looks so fake, everything about it.
I haven't seen it.
The costume design in these Snyder movies have been terrible. Bob
Odenkirk.
Not Bob Odenkirk. No. Movie Bob Chapman. He's a film reviewer. He has had the most accurate description of the Batman costume I've heard so far, which is it looks like a giant swollen scrotum that's been painted. Do you agree with that or disagree?
Oh, I was raised Catholic, so I'd never even seen my own scrotum.
He's bulging out of the thing I kept saying to you throughout the movie. Every time Batman
I couldn't
walks
hear half
out,
the shit you knew over said something.
Every time Batman walks in, he walks in like this, and I just kept saying, like, I can't put my arms down from Christmas Story. That's what I keep thinking. He's terrible. Ben Affleck does not have the body for a believable Batman. Like, he doesn't have the presence for it. Also, something about the way it was lit, this movie, it was lit in such a way that it just looks so fake. It looked like he was wearing a big old rubber head thing, which like we know he is, but you can film it in such a way that it doesn't appear like a fake costume.
You want them to film it in a way that we believe he's a giant bat.
No, but you are you serious? There was like no character interaction in this movie. Like Batman's like, this is what we're doing, and everyone's like, sounds dumb, but what else are we gonna do? So like, what are the big character interaction moments? You've got Batman and Wonder Woman disagreeing about bringing Superman back from the dead. And she's like, you're just bitter because you hated Batman vs. Superman. He's like, you're just bitter because you want to keep living in your Wonder Woman glory days. And she's like, you're right. And he's like, yeah, you're right. And they're like, well, all right.
And then it's Barry Allen versus his low blood sugar.
Right, yeah. Yeah, the Flash interacts with nobody, really. I mean, he, like, says jokes. That's, like, his whole shtick.
Here's my thing. I like to like things. That's why I'm not a movie critic. I didn't come over here and I was like, we're at the end of this, we're not going to give it a grade or something.
I'm not trying to give it a grade.
Oh, no, I'm just saying, like, this is like I'm not a critic or anything. I like movies, like cinema.
Yeah.
I watch a lot of things. But that's the thing, like, I like to go into things, like, give them the benefit of a doubt. Usually I don't check, like, Rotten Tomatoes or anything, which there's a big to-do now because this is the first movie where, like, they're holding back the score, not because, like, Warner Brothers owns a small stake in the company or anything, but they're trying to launch their own new weekly YouTube show. I don't know if YouTube, maybe it's streaming actually Facebook Live, whatever.
Okay.
But like, they want to do weekly score reveals on like Thursday night.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Even though all the reviews are out, and if you want to, you can figure out what the score be for yourself, because it's not Rotten Tomatoes decreeing a score; it's an aggregator, and people like always shit on Rotten Tomatoes being like, why do you hate this movie? Like, we don't. We added up everybody's scores.
Yeah, all we did was tell you, we are just the platform to tell you what everybody else was saying.
People should actually either read papers or online website articles, online websites as though like printed websites, newspapers, analog websites. Find a fucking critic you like or someone that shares your sensibilities and take that. I don't check the tomato meter for like a gauge for what I should see.
I did check it for this movie because I was curious. I don't know. I was so excited to see this movie. I said that before we saw it. I was like, I've been looking forward to this for days. Once I realized it was coming out this week, because I was like, regardless of whether it's good or not, if it's good, then I get a good Justice League movie. And for the record, I just like put out that I would like to put this out there. I drastically prefer the DC characters to the Marvel characters. I think the DC movies overwhelmingly have been awful, but I would love a great movie with Superman and Batman and Wonder Woman and like Green Lantern and whoever, like all yada yada. I think that would be incredible. I would love that. I think that they're the truest version of what a superhero is, instead of like, you know, Marvel has a bunch of like sci-fi things. Like a lot of them I don't even really consider superheroes, but DC has been awful with this. So I would love to love this movie, and early on I was like, okay, I love that little opening bit with Superman. I thought the opening bit with... See, every character in this movie, not every character, but a bunch of the characters in this movie had their own, like, James Bond opening bit. You know, every James Bond movie opens with a completely irrelevant scene to be like, James Bond is still cool. He's still here.
Watch him ski off this mountaintop and
Yeah,
pull
right.
a parachute, and it's the Union Jack.
Exactly, right. Like, a bunch of the characters had those moments at the beginning of this movie. And they were disposable. Nothing really happened. But I was like, I could see what they were going for. I was like, okay, let's...
We'll be right back after these messages from me.
Greetings!
Hitting the skins?
Facebook stalking.
Who?
A young lady named Hannah.
If a cyclist runs through a red light, they deserve to get hit by a car.
I study numerology. 30 is important.
That's wrong. You're wrong.
Well, I had to get out of there. I mean, he's cleaning my entire place and he starts mixing ammonia with bleach.
You think the Taylor Kanye Swift thing was staged?
You're naive if you think it wasn't.
Do you have any regrets?
I was kicked out of the second city for my political views.
We are so #blessed to live in Chicago.
And the Music Box is hosting a Q&A sesh with Billy Zane following a screening of Titanic.
Did you just connect Katy Perry to 9/11?
Hawaiian pizza is bae.
The second best revenge is a brick to the back of the head.
This town isn't friendly enough.
I don't even use voicemail anymore. I just let it fill up so no one can leave me any.
I like to think about everyone I went to high school and college with, and they have homes and mortgages and kids, and then toast to how much more awesome my life is by comparison.
That's still funny, huh?
Yeah.
The Flash is a Rick and Morty fan.
Yeah, the Flash has a Rick and Morty bit up in the back.
It's the episode where they
They
beat up
the
Nazis.
They beat up the neo-Nazi, yeah. But, I mean, can we go through character by character and I can break down some of my problems with these?
I
Or do you
heard-
have something you want to say?
A lot of things I want to say.
I have a lot of feelings, but I want to let you say your stuff too.
That slow-mo shot of Aquaman walking shirtless, drinking the whiskey,
That was- yes.
and he smashes on the bottom like, oh, fuck.
The two of us simultaneously just started laughing or something, and we were the only two people. Everyone else in the theater was absolutely silent.
Oh, they were eating it up.
Can I also talk about here? Let me talk about this. So the plot of this movie revolves around there are the three magical MacGuffin boxes, and the guy Steppenwolf, the bad guy, has to get all three. And when he gets all three, he builds a doomsday device or something. It terraforms the world.
No,
into his
Doomsday
own
was in
house.
BVS.
It's a terraforming device that'll turn Earth into a
That was in
hellscape.
Man of Steel, the terraforming device.
This is not an original movie. It's going to turn the world evil, and he loves it when it's evil. So,
And that's the other thing, if I could get a word in edgewise. What
I
the
didn't
fuck,
get to-
David? What
I
the
didn't
fuck
get
do you want to say?
I didn't get to even explain my thing.
I don't care.
I want to explain the plot of this movie and break down beat by
Bad
beat.
guys work the best when they think they're doing the right thing. But this character was overtly saying things that were they explicitly said that I'm evil and I'm doing this because it's evil.
Yeah, I never actually understood what he was doing. I mean, I
How did
understood what
he-
he was. I understood his plan, but I didn't understand who he was or why he was doing it.
But can we talk about The Simpsons? Phil Hartman, the parody episode for the Marge versus the Monorail. Phil Hartman parodying the Music Man comes into town, and he's giving the talk to the class, and any questions? Can the monorail outrun the Flash? Yeah, sure. And some other kid can Superman outrun the Flash? Yeah, why not?
But this brings me back to the much larger point, which is how ineffective.
How you hated the movie.
How ineffective all
Why
these
don't you
characters
like
were.
fun?
To be absolutely serious, though, my biggest problems with the movie are that the characters have no meaningful interaction with one another. The characters are no good at... They have virtually no bearing on the plot, except for a few. Like Batman and Superman are the only characters who do anything in this movie. And Batman does barely enough to qualify. Like, the moment that Superman shows up, it's like, oh, great, Superman's here. Good, because we were not going to be able to do this at all.
I was thinking that, okay, he got the mother boxes, and then, the second act was going to end with him bringing Darkseid in, and, oh, shit, Justice League minus Superman could have taken Steppenwolf, but now here's Darkseid,
I see.
and now we need Superman to actually have, a matched battle with him.
Yeah, like the only reason they bring Superman back to life is because Batman. I mean,
He's the Deus Ex Machina.
they don't say it this explicitly, but it's almost there. Where basically it's Batman being like, I killed Superman in Batman vs Superman. We were really trying to undo that movie. Let's whatever we can. Let's just bring Superman back. Let's just get him back. But I will say that when Superman came back, he felt like Superman.
So moving forward, we've got
You want to speculate on how to fix the DCEU?
not fix.
Fix.
Superman, I think, is a tricky character now. Like I have the 4 box set of the Christopher Reeves films,
Right.
which I watched those first 2, used to all the time growing up. Like character born in the Depression, and like just it's such a different time now. How are you going to translate the morals, ethics of the character and this and that? People being like, when he snapped Zod's neck, I'm like, that's not Superman, this and that. Like, well, he was torn, and you got to do a different thing. And like when his Costner died, and he like there was a tornado, and like you could have saved him. You moved so fast, like people wouldn't have seen. He's like, oh, don't reveal yourself, let me die. And the whole, I don't understand. Like there was the like trying to give Clark this internal turmoil about like I could have saved my father, but like so beautiful in the Reeves Superman, like his dad died of a heart attack. Like as powerful as he was, there's nothing he could have done to save his father. But
That's a great limitation on Superman that for some reason people always forget. They're like, Superman can do anything. Like, who cares about that character? It's like, well, no, he can't do anything. That's like part of his tragedy is like he can do so much, but he is still incredibly limited. Like in the ways that any person is limited. Like he's still a man, even or not a man, but like an individual.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I agree that Superman, they got to take like a real hard look at what they're doing with Superman because they've got some good ideas I think in the DCEU with him, but at the core I don't think they have any idea like what, like if you had to boil it down, what this new Superman is supposed to be.
I think like just mixed genres. Other superhero films have found a way to stay really fresh by mixing in like it's a superhero movie plus this.
Right.
With Superman, like I don't want to see like a Kryptonian or something always comes and they're matched like that. Like, I don't want to. Superman has like all those powers. I want to see Superman in a different movie, whether it's like actually in a rom-com or just like in
You want Lois and Clark the movie.
I did watch that in the 90s.
I know, me too.
No. Not at all. But like either a modern day rom-com, but like that, or just like more of a like serious, dramatic like relationship turmoil kind of a thing, like and not like soap opera, but just like basically focus on something that Superman can't fix by punching.
Right.
Like he's an alien, he struggled his whole life to fit in, and it's just like his struggle to just be a human and have the human experience.
Right.
So heartache and just like social anxiety and just give him disorders and have him just like nervous and fucked up in the head and just like, oh my God, just like, am I talking too much at this party and then actually have him be Superman, but as the small B plot that's peppered in throughout here or there. Like
what I'm
you missed our
hearing-
date, like you know that you've done this too much, like we're fucking over like the main storyline. It's like he was off saving something and like being Superman, but the main plot of the film is his struggle as Clark Kent.
That's what I was going to say. Is what I'm hearing mostly is that we have to figure out how to re-inject the Clark Kent into Superman, which has been forgotten, I think, recently. No, I agree. I mean, I don't know about total drama.
No, but it's a pitch,
yeah.
just different.
Yeah, no, but I agree with what you're getting at, though.
Like just a 20-minute scene of him at the bodega in Metropolis just trying to find like 4 good fucking avocados for guacamole that night for his date.
Personally, I don't want to see that, but I get what you're getting at.
A solid
I don't need a 20-minute
short
scene of him
film
trying to
art
get-
house picture. It's okay. Fade in, bodega, guy, like thick nerd glasses walks in, like you think like, oh, hipster, and then like
is this
his
guy?
his over the shoulder bag like you have. No real dialogue. And it's just picking up these avocados and then like finally makes his purchase and goes out or like
Is this all on the paper?
no. This is all just like I'm looking down just thinking, sorry.
Sure, Tommy P.
And then like he's got his little basket and he finally like found like the 4 good ones and he's already in the basket he has like the other ingredients. He's clearly gonna make guacamole that night. And he finally finds like the good 4th avocado.
Yes.
And then like you hear the distinctive sound effect of like a mugging or something in the distance. Like clearly no one in that store can hear it, but then it's like, oh, and like nothing in this, the displays in this art house short film that this is Superman or Clark Kent or anything. It's just, you hear it, and then all of a sudden, like he just drops everything, tears open his shirt to reveal the S, and just out the door, and then fade out. Like everyone looks kind of like, what was that? And then just fade to black, roll credits. That's the short film. You want a DP on it?
I'll
play Superman.
Oh, good.
See this jawline, cheekbones? Yeah.
Hey, you know my biggest problem with Superman in this movie?
So here's my slate.
Okay.
First film, Batman. He has Robin, but it's the second Robin. Don't fucking shake your head at me already.
Sorry, I'll give you my list after you. You do your list first. I'm sorry.
First movie, Batman, he's with Robin too as a
Great
sidekick.
idea.
You can introduce Nightwing in a cameo scene, and he's fighting Deadshot as the main bad guy.
Love it.
Next movie is Wonder Woman. It's basically just the same movie, just without the framing.
Sorry.
No, I'm just going to wait to do a clean audio delivery without you coughing and laughing over it.
Sorry.
After Batman is Wonder Woman, basically just the same one we got,
I love it.
but without the framing device in the beginning and end of like her looking at the picture.
Worst
just
part.
straight up period piece. After that, then a
Is it World War I again?
Yeah, it's the same movie. Just no.
You're literally saying they're going to re-release the same movie.
I'm not saying do this moving forward. I'm saying like, or just something else.
Oh, this is your ideal instead of
like
what
either
they did.
either if the DCEU like either didn't happen,
Okay.
or just like, you know what, let's just stop at where we are and go forward. I don't know. Like this is just some ideal thing. This is just my
Okay.
pitch. Again, like I preface this by saying I don't know shit about shit with the comics.
I'm just curious what the because if you're saying like
I
in
didn't
2
write-
years re-release Wonder Woman but without the framing device, I think that's a bad
Not
move.
in the yeah. Of course, it'd be a bad move in the real world. Fuck, man.
I'm just trying to be. I want us to be on the same page.
Are we clear?
I'm clear.
I also would have accepted Crystal. It's John Bender, Breakfast
about-
Club,
what about
John Hughes, 1986.
Crystal. What's next? Re-release Batman vs Superman, but this time.
Re-release The Dark Knight. Dig.
You're right.
Fucking hate you so much. Nightwing standalone for the third movie.
Okay.
And he can fight Captain Boomerang. Batman 2.
Sorry, great idea.
You can. I'll hand this to you so you can actually go through point by
No.
point.
I'm sorry. Keep going.
After Nightwing, Batman sequel. In the first act of which, when it's not focusing on Batman, it's introducing Joker and Harley at Arkham, and she's the doctor, and he's hypnotizing her, whatever.
Yeah, trying to manipulate her.
And so, like, the first act ends with them escaping, and meanwhile, in the first act, Batman is just like tying up. Well, that creates a bad pun, but he's taking in Slipknot. In the end of the first act. And then the rest of the movie is Harley Quinn and Joker causing mayhem in Gotham and Batman focusing on taking them down, which he does in the...
Which he succeeds.
Well,
I'm
no.
assuming. Maybe not,
Yeah.
but he fails?
Well, no, he gets them, but Joker kills Robin too.
I see. Okay.
Lock them up. Maybe Nightwing helps. Batman considering retiring. Followed up by an Aquaman movie, and it's him against Killer Croc. And then finally we get a first Superman movie. It can be similar-ish to Man of Steel, whatever, devastation, things, and him learning his place and morality, etc. Except that Clark is a freelance journalist who works from home because you need to address that he doesn't wear a fucking mask, and everyone sees Superman. So Clark Kent needs
yeah.
it. Don't wave that off. How are you going to explain that away? And everyone's still like,
I'll explain
it's
it to
2017.
you. I'll explain it to you perfectly.
Because Superman never gets photographed up close.
It's a superhero movie. Who cares? That's all the explanation you need. I don't know. No, like, who cares? I don't know. The fact that he has glasses. Who
People
cares?
yell about this stuff all the time. I'm just trying
And,
to.
yeah, and I think it's dumb. Okay, let
You
me
think
tell
it's dumb that he's a freelance journalist?
No. I think the idea of him being a freelance journalist is fine. I think that's great. I think that saying that that's your
workaround
that's
for
what
it.
we're doing
And then
as
he
a
goes
solution.
out in a Mission Impossible 6 prosthetic mustache to hide his identity.
I don't think you need to fix why doesn't anyone recognize that it's Superman? Because, like, honestly, just who cares? Okay, this is my idea for the DCEU. Moving forward.
We're not even halfway through mine.
Oh, sorry. Well, you ripped up the paper. I thought we were done. All right, what happens next?
Actually, we are just at the halfway point. Going into like before tonight, I'd never seen Flash or Cyborg or anything, so I just kind of tossed them together in their own movie together.
Okay.
Buddy film.
Buddy film.
Buddy film. And they're taking down Catwoman and Poison Ivy. Next movie, Green Lantern. No fucking idea what he's about, but Green Lantern movie.
I do love that you're just giving the Batman villains to everybody. You're like, you guys all fight Batman guys now.
And I don't know, maybe Green Lantern's fighting Thanos. I don't know. Then, because of all the devastation in the Superman movie,
Yeah.
and Batman was kind of like in a soft retirement after his second Robin got murdered
Right.
in front of him. He comes out of retirement for basically do the Batman versus Superman thing, and then Diana comes in at the end, where we finally get the payoff from her because we haven't seen her since 1917.
Right.
Like, I thought she was with you.
That's a really dumb line.
Superman dies, but then like Batman's finally just like, okay, like what the fuck was that thing?
Everybody keeps dying.
Superman dies, and then he's like, just
Batman.
like I've been doing this for 20, 25 years. I don't know what the fuck that thing was. This alien that
Yeah.
just died, and I'm kind of responsible for it. Why'd you say Martha? So then he passes on the cowl to Nightwing. Nightwing takes over the mantle as Batman.
Yeah.
And then they also like Bruce says to Nightwing, like, we need to form the Justice League in whatever words.
Right.
So then we've built up all those Batman villains because then we do Suicide Squad. Finally, after
I see.
we've met these characters before,
Right.
and do a movie that's not the first act as a music video montage,
Right.
because we already have stake in knowing these people, and they don't fight a garbage thing in the sky, and there's actually a plot to the movie that's not just like,
A garbage thing?
a garbage pile. Oh, the Avengers when they're fighting the Chitauri, and it's just like a sky
The
beam.
big swirl. Yeah.
Yeah, like
the
all these movies that
swirly
are just like,
thing.
so that's
Yeah.
what
The big old Photoshop swirl. Yeah.
Suicide Squad, like, if you ask me what that movie was, it's like, okay, half hour of a music video montage, and then these people, some of them are kind of cool, and then they're fighting faceless villains with no stakes, and then Amanda Wallace is there,
They were,
and for
they were
some
the
reason,
you know the people from the Gushers commercials when they eat the grapes? That's what they were fighting throughout Suicide Squad.
so a movie with an actual plot that we care about the people, because that way, when Amanda Waller or not Union Jack, I don't know, whatever, the guy who was headed,
Union Jack?
I was not Union. So
lost
we've
me.
established these characters, we've established these villains for the
villains,
Suicide
yeah.
Squad, so that once Slipknot tries to make a break for it and they hit the kill button and his head blows up, there's some stakes to that because we at least got one act with Slipknot
Right.
in the Batman 2 movie. Whereas like when he was introduced in Suicide Squad, it's like,
Right.
well, he's gonna die because they didn't spend 20 minutes giving him a music video montage.
I'm guessing they did originally though, because he was in all the promotional stuff, and his picture shows up places. They just like don't talk about him. They just like skip over him. So I'm assuming at some point they intended to, but
And then the other main difference to that is they all actually in the end, after they do whatever rewrite different plot mission, they actually all do get away. Like Amanda
Okay.
Wallace
Yeah,
doesn't get recaptured. So then they're out and about, and then the follow-up to that is Gotham City Sirens. So
Okay.
Harley Quinn's out, and she goes to Arkham and breaks out the other two because they were taken in by Cyborg and Flash. Whatever happens, I don't know. Again, like I don't have full page treatments for all these things. And then after Suicide Squad, Gotham City Sirens, and then the 12th film here at the end of the 4 years of all these movies is it all builds up to a Justice League film where you unite the seven, and their big thing is they have to go out and like wrangle up the Suicide Squad and the Gotham City Sirens and all these criminals who have been out and about on the loose this entire time, like finally go out and get them.
Okay.
And remember, Superman has been dead since he died before, so then like
Yeah.
he can come back in the end as like a Deus Ex Machina because, I don't know, Luthor. Actually, yeah, I never mentioned Lex Luthor in any of this. So maybe they need him to come in because of some fucking doomsday thing.
That's very thorough. So the primary plot of your Justice League movie is it's Suicide Squad versus Justice League?
Yeah.
Basically? Okay. Interesting.
Without Superman there for most of it, because otherwise, like, he could just take them all himself.
I was gonna say it seems like the Suicide Squad are very outmatched.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, but
And also they're going like basically, Alfred's probably dead because now Bruce Wayne is
every
is
single
taking the-
person that Bruce Wayne loves is dead.
yeah, he's a tortured guy.
Jeez, wow, this poor guy.
Because old Nightwing, original Robin is Batman now, so Bruce is maybe, or Bruce and Alfred are just chilling at the manor, having a nice.
I wanted to do mimosas down at the beach every day. They earned it.
I love brunch.
And that brings us to the least funny joke of Justice League. Okay, what I thought of was just a where do we go from here type of thing. And what I'm going to say is basically the exact opposite of your whole strategy, which is no more Batman. You're not allowed to touch Batman anymore. He is an addiction for Warner Brothers and DC at this point. Marvel got for almost 10 years without their tentpole, Marvel characters. They just got Spider-Man back. They don't have X-Men. They don't have Fantastic Four. They had to take all their other characters that a lot of people didn't really care about and build those guys up from the ground, from like nothing, pretty much. Not nothing, but I mean, who really cares?
From what
about
I heard, Iron Man was a B character.
Right. Like, I mean, I knew who he was from like the cartoons, but I didn't like really care about him. So we are going to do the same thing with DC. I love the idea of a Shazam movie because that is a great premise. A kid who can become, it's basically big, but he's also a superhero. Then you've got, I say do a Green Lantern movie, but you've got to do it right. I like the idea of the Gotham City Sirens because I think that it's a good premise also. It's unique. But like we can do another Wonder Woman. I think they've shown that they can handle a Wonder Woman movie. I mean, I guess at some point you have to do Aquaman, Flash, Cyborg. I mean, after watching Justice League, all three of those characters seem exhausting to me. I don't know, something like that. That's very vague. So that's what I have to say about that.
All right. Well,
It's been great having me on.
it's been great. You touching my beard, my notes, and
Empty.
look, you tore my notes in half.
Did I do that?
You can look in the description below for links to follow either of us on social media, and he's got a podcast. We'll be releasing a thing on that soon.
It's going to be a good episode about my podcast. I'm really looking forward to it.
Yep. I am Tommy P. Delanuit.
And I'm David Anderson.
No one cares. Shut
and
the
this
fuck
has
up.
been Talking Dirty with Tommy P.
I can't find the fade button.